try to fit in with the white people. That's how I feel. That's just me personal.
You said he tried to fit in with white people?
Just to fit in, yeah. Cause
why would he try to have to fit in?
No, I'm just saying because he was.
Well, he sold the most music with black
I
skin.
don't think, because he was shy. Like he the way he talked. I liked him a lot. So I read a lot about him. But I'm just saying, like, to me, after that Pepsi commercial, like, he looked great when he was in that. His look before he changed his nose and his color of his skin, he looked great in that. The last two, I think there was 2 videos he did after the Pepsi commercial, and he looked great, bro. His acne went away. He was starting to look, he was starting to mature, and then he was on the top. And then that Pepsi commercial, I feel like maybe he got sabotaged or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not him, but I'm just saying, like, everybody has thoughts. You think about circumstances. You've seen him go to the UK. You've seen him go to Canada. And he's selling out like seats where nobody could ever do that. You know what I mean? But yet, still, at the end of the day, he is a different color skin. And people, like, back in that time, like, when they're making a lot of the oldies music, like Temptations and stuff like that, like older than his music, they would all get frowned upon. Oh, this is boogie or jazz, or, this, that. So he really tightened his shit up, and he made his shit sound clean. With guitars and orchestras. You know what I mean? And brought back the traditional way of making music. But I just felt like he always thought like he was never good enough, but he always was. So I felt like he changed himself, not for himself, for the white man. That's what I felt like he did it for, because he wanted to be accepted in a world where he was the only black man being accepted. Why couldn't everybody else? That's how I felt like he came out, changed the world, make it a better place. And then he puts all the Asian people on there, and he puts Korean people, Chinese people, and it's like, to me, like, he was just trying to make it all the same, but people will never look at it life like that, all the same. You know what I mean? That's why, like, when you go to prisons, you go to jail now, the white man's the minority. He's the one on the bottom. You know what I mean? The brown people run the jail.
You're supposed to be a minority when you go to jail.
Well, I mean, what I'm trying to say is, like, advice. What I'm saying is, like, when you get locked up, like, the white man is the one on the bottom of the
You should be a minority. You don't want to be in jail.
No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just speaking in general. Like, you shouldn't want.
You go to the beach, they ain't the minority. You go to Beverly Hills, they ain't the minority.
Yeah, but pretty soon, like, a lot of places are starting to realize what it's really about. Now the white man is starting to lose a lot. They're losing way more than colored people are starting to come up more and make more businesses and make it more vibrant.
Did you ever pay attention to what Michael Jackson sang about in his music and what he spoke about?
Yeah, always.
That's why he didn't want to look like this. That's why he got rid of his nose and his hair.
I felt like, I know he said.
That's why he didn't want to look
he
black.
Had a big
He's
nose.
telling you why.
I felt like that, but then
not a big nose. He don't want to look black. You didn't listen. You didn't watching his music. He's showing you writing his music. Why?
It's black. Is white.
No, not
it's
that.
I'm just saying.
Bad.
So
He's showing it to you on his music, but you're not paying attention.
Yeah, no, I pay attention a lot. I love music, bro. That's one of my healing to my soul is music.
But you said he did what he did to try to fit in with whites. No, we don't got to do. We got to fit in with no whites. We be white people in everything we do. We've been in the race on the earth. We Team USA. So why would we have to try to fit in with somebody else?
Yeah.
Team USA full of niggas.
Yeah, but Team USA, you got to remember too. Like, they lost 5 in a row.
They did?
Yeah, they did. They lost 5 in a row. And if it wasn't for
what was this?
If it wasn't for Coach K, the one that from Duke, the white man, he picked up the last team, and that's when they went and they had to. You know why? Because they were all individuals. We had all these skilled players.
This last season, they just lost 5 in a row?
No, I'm saying, like, this is back in when Kobe was Shaq with Kevin.
Talking about recently right now with Steph Curry and LeBron.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about back, like, Sheena. When we watched the Dream Team when the Olympics with Coach K, and how they took them, they lost 4 times in a row, and then they won in the end. What years were those? The year of the program. Yeah, it was 2001, right? 2005, 2000. Because every 5 years. So I want to say it was that. So the last one was 2008 or something like that. Because every
Who was the team?
It was with Kobe. Kobe had a. This is what they said. They all came in as being stars and all being number one instead of working as a team, and that's why they got beat so many times in the Olympics, because they were playing teams where they were a team, and they had to learn how to become a team because they were never a team. And Coach K, which is the number one Duke coach in history, he teaches players to be a team, a unit, one, not an individual. Everybody can be an individual, and if it wasn't for his magic, you can see it. Kobe says it. Durant. It was the best team they ever had. So it's like he had to build. He had to make them do things that they didn't want to do because they're not used to it. So that's why they became the. That's why Coach K, if it wasn't for the white coach, you know what I mean, they wouldn't have been the team that they were supposed to be, because they lost for years. They were just dragging because there were so many stars. And you gotta remember, when there's a star, you know that, man. Just you can look at Randy Moss. You look at people that are pronounced, stars. That's fine. You're a star, but you're not a star without these other players around you.
Since 1992.
1992.
92.
See?
2008.
So that's when the dynasty started, because of Coach
That
K.
was with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
That's with all the old ones.
Yeah.
That's
So
the dream team.
did he? No, but that's what he said. Dream team. I'm telling him.
Yeah,
I'm talking about when they lost. I'm talking when they lost one.
No, when they lost. No, they lost. They lost 4 in a row, and then they started.
Yeah, but that's after. Like, that's in the 2000s.
Yeah, that was the one I was telling him. I was telling you with Coach K.
That's not in 2000s. That's like after the 91, 92, 3, 4, like 96.
It's after the Dream Team. Yeah,
What's my
'cause
drink, Duke?
Coach K came back.
Yeah.
Coach K came back from Duke,
You
and
can't take this drink inside.
and it was with Kobe, and
Right.
yeah, and they all and LeBron, and they all had to learn how to be, because they weren't a unit. That's why they were losing. None of them. They didn't do no practice. They didn't have no team theory. They just came in and just played the games. And they said the following season, after they lost 4 or 5 times in a row, they came back that team with Coach K, and they started having practices, started uniting together. So like all right. So let me tell
But
you.
it was a
this.
team full of niggas.
Let me tell you this. Well, I played football my whole life, right? And I started when I was 10 I was a Shanghai Raider, and I played with all nothing but black people,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up becoming one of them. You know, I was the player. I got the respect from them. I got the love from them, and I was so good. I was Division I. I was All State. I was Defensive Player of the Year. My freshman year, I debuted against Centennial, against Bass. I played with all the big names, and I'm small. I'm not big, but I had heart. And I went out there and I played, and I ran it with everybody. I run it with. I didn't care how big you were, how small you were, how fast you were. I'm doing my thing. You know what I mean? And it was crazy because during that time in my high school, I don't know how old you are, but I'm 41. When my days. That was when the riots were barely happening, and we were still having riots in school, and people were still popping off on each other and this and that. But like, my thing was that I was united because not only was I with the brown side, with the Mexicans, but I was also with the black people. And so when that shit came down to it, I'm squashing everything. I'm trying to, but I can't only do so much as one person. But a lot of the people I played with, they respect me. As they, they call me, they say, it's black ace, you know what I mean? But I ain't black, but I played like I was.
What's the point you're trying to make?
I was just trying to tell you, it's so when you become a team, it's different. United. So I think that's what Michael Jackson was trying to make everybody united. And it was too hard for him because he was just one individual trying to do it, and nobody had his back. Even though everybody loved his music, nobody really took it to serious what he was actually trying to do through his music, is what I'm trying to say. So it always made him feel like he was an individual. So I felt like, that's why I feel like when he changed himself, I feel like he did it partially for himself, but
He changed himself because everybody black was saying "fuck you." Remember that?
Yeah, because he's making so much money, and everybody was like, dog. There's haters every time. When you're successful, though, it comes especially from your own the most, man. That's true. It's like you're the new person on the block, and you're making the most money. their side it starts hating. You know, you can't. The thing is about the Bible and Jesus made us all to be different for a certain reason, but we're all supposed to come together as one. But that's one of the hardest things that we have. Our problem is it's hard to be united. And a lot of this
I don't
music.
say all come together as one. The Bible is a racist book.
Well, have you ever read? I'm not even supposed to talk about the book, but there's a book. It's a really dangerous book, but it goes all the way back from King Louis to Kemosabe to ancient times, and they bring verses back, and King Louis the Third, they bring back verses and contents from each one of them through Confucius. Like there's so many terms, there's so many big people in there that put in sentences into the book, and the book's about manipulation, it's about controlling, it's about it's basically a bad book, but it's also too it's a learning. It depends on how you read it, how you take in the contents. But the contents is very, 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 very. It's one of those books that you don't. Well, when I got told about it, I was, you don't promote it to the next man. You hear about the book, you hear about the book. You read the book, you take the book as you read it. As everybody's going to take the book differently. But it's a powerful book, and it came out a long, long time ago. And it says a lot of quotes from a lot of people that are, from multi-different races, multi-different people that were on top of everything they conquered, and people that knew how to do things that that's out of the ordinary. But and then like they say, the Bible. That how does anybody ever know the Bible is real? It was all words that were saying and written down from other people, right? So you got to remember, everything gets a little twist, but at the end, that's what everybody goes off to believe in, right? So it's a book, anybody could change up one word for another word, and it means a totally different context. So that's why, you see these different churches: First Testament, Second Testament, Old Testament. And then you got the new one where it's the mixed Bible words, the first and second together. And then you got the Mormon book. And then you got, you got there's so many books, right? So it's all different contents. But in the end, it's all the same concept. It's supposed to be. I mean, a lot of them have different rules that when they do this frowned upon, that's frowned upon. But in the end, it's all one thing. We believe in the Holy Spirit. We believe in, God. Believe in He died on the cross for us to, to forgive us for our sins. I mean, at the end, it's all, it turns into...
He didn't die for everybody.
Well, I didn't.
I was only about 12 tribes.
Well, not everybody, but I mean, like Lazarus, when he got his eyes plucked out by the crow because he didn't repent when it was time when they were getting crucified. The two robbers, right? The one robber got saved, the other one didn't. The one that didn't want to repent and say, please forgive me. He didn't want to say it, so he got his eyes plucked out, and he put him in shame. He went in shame into the underworld, meaning he couldn't even see. So. It's like, it's just, I mean, not to say that I don't know everything, but I read a lot. I like the Bible a lot. I know a lot of different cultures. I lived in Hawaii for 15 years and studied a lot of different things. But, I love rap music. I love white music now. I didn't used to, but when you start listening to everything that, even country, I didn't used to listen to that shit either, but then when you start listening to what every singer was talking about, it's just all they're talking about pain in their own way. And it's like, that's how do you think the music comes to harmony and so beautiful? Every song is made, when really there's a story behind it. Every damn song is written. Little do we know that, but there is, You look at today's music, you know, every like some people don't get a choice the way they grow up. That's the world you live in, and you make the best of it. Can you change it? Yeah, you can, but you have to make it first. So, like, you know, it's hard. It really depends. It's not like shame on you because, man, you a gangster rapper, and shame on you because you a rich white rapper, or, you know what I mean? It changes. It varies. You gotta there's shit is put in front of you for a reason. God puts us in front of us in those situations, and God doesn't give us more than we can't handle. And if you can't handle it, then He wouldn't put us in that situation, or you can't overcome it, or you can't look and learn from it. So, I respect what you say, but I also too, like, you know, not all of us grow up to be a fucking crack baby. You know, my mom did crack. I was just saying, and I grew up, you know, I'm a crack baby. I didn't want to be that. It wasn't my choice. But you know what? And still, I believe in God, and, you know, obviously, He didn't want my mom to smoke crack, but that's what she did. And maybe, you know, there's, you know, like they say, the sins of the father are passed down from generation to generation, and it's up to you to break them.
So she did crack while she was pregnant with you?
I'm just saying, well, I don't really talk about it, but I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, it's not my choice, you know what I mean? It's something that I had to, you know what I mean? I mean, what do I do? Wake up crying every day? Wake up mad? Or like, no, it is what it is. So I tell myself every day, like, hey, shit, like, it's not your choice how it is, you know? But you gotta live with it, and you gotta do the best you can. And as long as you try, that's what I tell my kids. As long as you keep trying, babies, as long as you wake up every day is a new day, and you put up your big boy pants and strap your shoes tight, and you keep pushing, you keep walking, you keep trying, and you try and you try. You can fail so many times. You can fail and fail all you want. But the day you stop trying, it's the day you lose. That's all God wants us to do at the end of the day is try. Try to love Him. Try to do the right thing. Try. It's hard. I tell my kids, it's hard to do the right thing. It's not easy. And my lady told me, she goes, yeah, it is easy. No, it's not easy. You have to try to do it. Temptation is always there. There's always lust. There's always shit popping up in front of your face. And you got to try. You got to overcome it. So at the end of the day, the bad apple's always there. It just depends if you're going to grab it or not. So yeah, I look at it like, hey, you got to try. You got to try to fucking not do it, you know? It does. Walking straight does not come easy. It does not come. If anybody, I defer with anybody that says it. It's hard to walk the straight line, man. It ain't easy. You gotta try, and if you don't fucking try, that quick you'll fall off.
Back to Michael Jackson. He wasn't trying to fit in with white people. He looked the way he looked because his people wasn't aligned with what he was aligned about. It was like that's what the music video "Bad" was about. He took it from a true story.
Yeah, Bad. Yeah, that's a good example. So he put gangsters fighting against Mexican gangsters fighting against black gangsters, right? And he put the colors in there.
That's not what Bad was about. There's no Mexicans in there fighting.
In the video, when they
That's not what Bad was
like
about.
Step. No, I'm saying that the content's in the video.
Yeah, in the video, there wasn't no Mexicans fighting against Mexicans. Against blacks or nothing like that. That wasn't Bad.
They had two sides. And then when it gets down to it, they go like this, and they do a little knife fight.
You talking about Beat It?
There you go. Sorry.
Beat It was about stop gangbanging.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
You said you're killing your brother in the interview.
Yeah. Okay. So I got it confused.
Bad was about him living in the suburbs, and then he get back to the ghetto, and his friends want to go rob and steal, and it was showing that he was a square.
Yeah, I know.
And then he was showing them what bad was.
I got it.
And they didn't think what he was doing was bad. That's why he changed his look. It wasn't nothing about fitting in with white people. Why we wouldn't want to fit in with white people? I'm first place in every sport. So why would I try to fit in with white people? It's people who beneath me, who can't beat me in nothing.
See, but okay. So if you
they can't beat, they ain't never beat us in nothing at all.
First in every sport, but before,
in every talent business.
No, but before the white man used to not pay everybody correctly, and now they had a lot of problems. No, exactly my point. So they're still making it to me about. We're still controlled under a certain control. So regardless if we are the best at everything we do, we're still controlled. We're tamed. We're limited. We're kept in that square box to where see, like where you it's like okay, but the white guy that he ain't as good, he gets paid. It's crazy, man. See that you're exactly right.
He wasn't singing about that. Bad was about him talking to his own people. He was trying to show them what was bad. I don't gangbang, so if I see a whole bunch of gangbanging niggas out here, I'm gonna tell them, hey, this is what's bad, you guys. Look, I ain't got no tattoos. This is what's bad. That's what it was about.
You don't have a
It was
tattoo?
about, no, I don't got no tattoos. Why would I write on my skin? Did I matter?
Yeah.
That's what it was talking about. This is what's bad. I got no tattoos on my body.
I'm not trying to make you
Well,
upset.
watch
man.
what I'm doing. I'm not getting upset. I'm just trying to explain something to you so you don't think
Nah.
that he was trying to reach out to white people. It wasn't about reaching out to white people. That's why he did the Wizard of Oz in the 70s.
But he needed the white people for him to
He
conquer.
needed white people for nothing.
That's the only way he would. Okay, that's why it's so hard for black people after him to get contracts with Columbia Records and with all these big names that he had. Because why? Because they didn't accept that. And he, even as much hard as he tried to open up the doors for everybody else, it was still hard. He's the only one that made it. Back in that time, man. Back in that era, bro. Like the records, the labels that he had, and the people that he had behind him, and it's like I forget which one you watched, man. I forget what I don't know if it was Lifetime or series. He does a series. He tells himself, he tells us something on him. I think he says with Barbara, what's her name, the white lady.
Barbara Walters?
Yeah, and he tells her some stuff, and she's like, man, like she's like, oh, I never know you felt bad, and this and that, and he's like, yeah, because at the end of the day, he wanted to fit in with everybody. He wanted everybody to like him, not just because he's saying good music, not because he's black, not because he's white, because his music was supposed to be a game changer, like a game changer.
I'm telling you, I was a black man myself. You can't speak for me. You speaking for me. You not black.
Me?
You not black, so how you speaking for me and my people? You can't speak for me and my people. I'm telling you from a black person's point of view, what it was about. How do I know this? Because I'm dealing with the same thing in my life. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. Not in an argumentative way, but I'm trying to get you to understand something. But you're speaking as if you in my shoes. You're not in my shoes. You don't know what it's like to be black.
Never speak.
But he was trying to say,
the reason why I say
I would want to look like him. Why? Because my people, like you said, they might come here and shoot at night. That's what it was about. We're two different people. That's what it was. That's what Bad was about. That's why you got to go watch the music video again.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that's what I was trying to tell you. I'm not black.
It wasn't about trying to fit in with somebody white. I can't fit in with somebody white. But therefore, it was about, hey, I can't live amongst y'all. And then there's a lot of, like, Cat Williams said F Michael Jackson and stuff like that. So he was getting a lot of hate from his own race. So that's what it was about. Y'all don't want to love me. I'm trying to show y'all how to do right. So if it's fuck me, then fuck y'all. And fuck this race. That's what it was about.
Yeah.
I don't even want to look like you. I'm gonna adopt 3 white kids. It wasn't about trying to fit in with somebody. I'm first place amongst everybody on the earth. Can't anybody compete with me. So I want to try to fit in with somebody who I know hate me.
I don't think he had that mentality of competing with people. He didn't have that mentality. That wasn't his mentality. He was so soft spoken. He didn't have that. He was shy. He didn't.
Shy. You dancing in front of the world.
No, you get in his. Man, I'm telling you, man. You watch. There's certain ones I guess you ain't watched that I seen. But I'm telling you, you hear. Yeah, he was one of the.
He still made a movement.
He was one of the shyest people. I didn't say movement. Movement comes with. I mean, everybody. Like.
Shy is not speaking out at all. He did a whole lot of speaking out.
He was really shy, man. I'll tell you, I did a whole biography.
He spoke a whole lot. He did the Wizard of Oz where he didn't have a brain. We don't got no brains. That's what blood and encrypting is. Where you don't have a brain. You ain't got no sense.
The reason why I told you that, I'm saying as me being an underdog in football, right? But I made my name. I made my presence stand. I made myself be present by playing with a bunch of people that were better than me all the time. But I made myself just as good as them. I trained and I worked hard at that. And that's why I was telling you, like, I fit in the shoes that I'm black. I'm not black, but I get the respect from a lot of players big names. They're in the NFL now. I should have been there, but the reason why I'm not there is because I chose to sell drugs and be bad. What I choose to do, I just did the wrong thing. But the reason why I did the wrong thing is I didn't have no guidance. My parents were split up, and I had my own house when I was 16 years old. You know, I had nobody to pat me and nobody to slap me in the back of the hand or on the fucking neck and say, hey, quit this shit and go to school. But, you know, so that's my own problem. But that being said, like, you know, I made, you know, like, you know, football was my thing. I was natural at it. I was, you know, came to me like the fucking cards, like some.
What's your point you're trying to make?
I'm just was trying to say I can relate to a lot of my, you know, I have a lot of friends, you know, that some of my best friends, you know, they're all black. But I'm saying as being Mexican, I'm Mexican and white. But being Mexican and white, I try to pull the white card. I don't get the white card. Like her, that's my sister, my real sister, right? She could pull the white card. I can't. I've been telling people I'm half white for fucking since I was born. Nobody, they go, you a liar. You know what I mean? But her, Mexican people treat her like shit because they think she's white and she speaks Spanish. So it's just different, you know. It's just like, you know, man, I don't know shit, man. I just know I try. And that's all, you know, I tell my kids, man. As long as you try, you know, you're in a good spot. The day you don't try, that's the day you're in a bad spot.